Welcome to Silicon Scoop, where we dive into the latest tech news impacting the world. Join John Irwin and the Startup Coach as they explore the tech news that matters to you. Stay ahead, stay informed, and now on with the show.
Anthropic built Claude to answer questions. Now it wants Claude to help create actual medicine. The real test begins when AI-generated hypothesis leaves the computer and enters Anthropic's new wet lab. So Anthropic and Claude is now becoming a drug maker. Anthropic has just launched Claude Science, an AI research workbench that connects scientific databases, computational tools, specialist agents, and laboratory infrastructure in one environment. At the same time, the company has confirmed they will run its own drug discovery programs, reportedly concentrating on neglected and rare diseases. So Anthropic is no longer merely selling scientists and AI assistant, it is becoming the first major frontier model company to test its technology against one of science's most expensive realities, producing a drug candidate that actually works. What do you think about this, John?
I'm not surprised because Anthropic has already taken over for Canva, or they've already taken over whatever. A lot of different industries. Pharmaceutical, to me, makes sense because if we're talking about developing a drug, like we know it typically takes 10 to 15 years, it costs $1 to $3 billion, and failure rates exceed 90% of this, right? And the biggest bottleneck in all of this isn't manufacturing, it's discovering which molecules might actually work. And so modern AI attempts, they try to compress years of laboratory exploration into weeks by predicting protein folding, identifying drug targets, generating new molecular structures, simulating interactions, ranking the highest probability candidates. And instead of testing millions of molecules physically, now researchers can narrow candidates computationally before even entering the lab, which reduces experimental costs dramatically. But the thing is, as of right now, though, I can't replace laboratory validation or clinical trials. So every prediction, it's got to still be experimentally verified, but we're cutting down the biggest bottleneck, which is the discovery phase of it, right? And hopefully the failure rates of it too. But again, I'm not surprised. I'm just curious as to what industry are they going to take on next. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, they've got 60 plus curated scientific skills and connectors and scientific databases. They can scale from 1 GPU to hundreds using laboratory infrastructure or external compute. They have up to 50 external AI for science projects that will receive support. Each selected project can receive $30,000 in Claude credits and up to $2,000 in model computing credits. So one US UCSF research group reported that completing certain analysis is roughly 1/10 of the previous time, as you indicated. A reported case study, not a universal benchmark. So this is really cool, but I wanted to do a little comparison to, great, we've been talking about Google's DeepMind doing some things very similar, and I'd like us to understand the differences. So Google DeepMind built a specialist AI that understands molecular structure. Anthropic is building a generous AI workforce that can coordinate much more of the scientific process. So to understand the Anthropic versus Google DeepMind, Anthropic is using a general purpose scientific reasoning, where Google DeepMind is specialized biological and molecular models. The flagship technology is Claude Science for Anthropic, where DeepMind is using AlphaFold 2 and AlphaFold 3 and isomorphic drug design engines. Anthropic's primary strength is reading, research, analyzing data, writing code, and planning experiments and coordinating tools, where Google's is predicting molecular structures and interacting and designing drug candidates. And there's a bunch more differences here. But basically, the biggest advantage Anthropic has is the breadth and agentic coordination. And for Google, it's depth of biological modeling and accumulated drug development infrastructure. Just, we talk about them, and I wanted to kind of separate the two a little bit. But
yeah, there's other companies like OpenAI has their GPT Rosalind, NVIDIA has one, Microsoft has one, and Amazon have one. So it makes sense that Anthropic would get into this. I know we covered AlphaFold before, which kind of I know Google's probably ahead of the curve on most of this. But again, just goes to show that it doesn't matter. If we look at the AI race nowadays, anyone could take the lead at any time.
Yeah, and they can jump ahead. I think DeepMind and Google's AlphaFold, we've been talked about a little bit more because I think they've been public about it. They're already on AlphaFold 3. We're hearing talks about AlphaFold 4, and this is Claude's kind of first public foray into it. So they're all kind of getting into it, and I think it only means good things for the future of medicine. But we're starting. I am skeptic, that because biology is not software. When I say skeptic, I mean I think it's going to help a lot, but an AI can generate a plausible target molecular experiment very quickly, but animal studies, toxicity problems, manufacturing constraints, and human clinical trials can still invalidate years of apparent promising work. So they haven't disclosed specific drug targets, candidates, or preclinical results or a commercialization plan for anything, but that's because I guess we haven't come up with it. We just caught up to the thing. So we seem to be trying to shorten the long-term studies that we used to do, which I guess is a good thing. But at the same time, then I think we're failing to understand the long-term side effects of some of these things because we're rushing them to the market. Now, the long-term benefit may well exceed any sort of negative, which is perfectly fine. I, as an old school person, I'm thinking, where's the 5-year, 10-year study that shows side effects, that shows any, weird cancer, weird whatever growth, or any of that kind of stuff? We're just not getting it anymore, or maybe not. So those are my concerns, but I do like that we're being able to do these. My other concerns is how long does it take to work creating designer drugs, not pharmaceuticals, recreational, whatever, with these tools, and then how good or dangerous are those?
Yeah, well, what I like about what Anthropic's doing is the focusing on neglected diseases, because they're illnesses that disproportionately affect poorer populations where traditional pharmaceutical companies often see limited financial return, which I love. Again, another check mark in Anthropic's good guy box kind of thing, because again, they've taken hard stances on certain things, like they're coming across as the more ethical company, and now they're focusing on more neglected diseases. So for those of you that don't know, neglected diseases, we're talking about tropical diseases, rare infectious diseases, and certain rare genetic disorders. So I guess they're sort of demonstrating a more humanitarian impact while avoiding direct competition with other pharmaceutical markets initially, which smart, I think, is nice. What do you think about that approach?
I like them going after rare neglected diseases because why not? The second thing is, what are they going to do with it? Are they actually going to produce the drugs? Because the pharmaceutical companies probably won't, because some of these things, one, it's not profitable enough to create something that's going to cure things. One, they prefer a treatment because then you got a recurring payment. Say what you want to say, but we like subscription plans in this world, so we want your recurring treatment in the drug world, rather not necessarily a cure. And you say underprivileged or unrepresented or whatever, I just think it's just not big enough for there to be a market, because neglected and rare diseases are neglected and rare. Like they're not sweeping through the populations, because in the end, if they were larger, if there was a larger population affected, somebody would pay for it. We see, the Bill Gates Foundation going in and creating drugs and giving them to Africa and doing whatever, whether you're a conspiracy theorist and think that's evil because they're testing weird stuff, or you're on the other side saying that's great, philanthropic, they're helping everybody. The point is somebody's spending the money to create these drugs and getting them distributed, hopefully for the betterment of mankind. It'd be great to have a faster track, cheaper getting there, and cheaper results, so it's more distributed, so it's not controlled by the pharmaceutical companies, so the whole world gets this information. So the question is this actually going in the good guy box? What's Anthropic going to do when they actually come to the cure? Who gets the information? Who gets to sell the stuff? That is we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though, right? And this would be kind of my takeaway is the first generation of AI, the company sold software. And this second generation, they're beginning to own the outcomes. So like Tesla builds AI in cars, Waymo builds AI in robotaxis, Anthropic now wants AI in pharmaceuticals. So they're extending verticals into other things, which makes sense. They're diversifying and becoming kind of vertically integrated into everything. They're not waiting for people to build solutions. They're building the solutions themselves because now they have a working AI model, right? Why not build upon that?
Yeah, and tools for the labs and, funding for the labs, at least in the way of credits and whatnot. But the question is, what's the long game? I'm happy with everyone doing it. It's only going to lead, like we're talking about, this could cut development from approximately 12 years to 7-8 years or double approval success rates in that time as well. So there's a lot of good to be had here. The question is, what are they doing with it long term? And what's it going to be, in the wrong hands, what can it do?
Yeah.
So Anthropic has built an unusually complete bridge from AI reasoning to physical biology, but the breakthrough only becomes real when the bridge produces valid treatment. So should Anthropic become a drug developer itself, or should it remain the AI infrastructure provided for science and pharmaceutical companies? Let us know what your thoughts are below and where you think they fit in the overall drug research and production pipeline.
Tired of drowning in repetitive tasks while your competitors race ahead? Every minute you spend on manual data entry, scheduling, and routine processes is a minute you're not growing your business. Flowgrammer.ca transforms your workflow chaos into seamless automation. We build AI-powered systems that handle your busy work so you can focus on what actually makes you money. Our clients typically save 15 plus hours per week and see their productivity double within 60 days. Visit flowgrammer.ca for a free automation audit. That's flowgrammer.ca. Stop working in your business and start working on it.
What do you got going on, John?
Just plugging away, helping companies with government funding, attending events, probably startup drinks or Flowgrammer events. How about you, Craig?
Lots of stuff going on. I honestly don't know when this is going out. I have to check. I think it's going to go out in April. But there's all sorts of stuff going on. If you don't know about OpenClaw, it's the latest AI automation agent that's taken the world by storm in 2026. And OpenClaw Toronto chapter just launched. And we have all sorts of events going on. So check out openclawto.com. Our first demo night is April 14th. We have a Builder Cafe on April 10th. We have a bunch of other events. There's updates every day. We've deconstructed the latest 2 betas over the weekend that was launched in OpenClaw and what you should do about them. There's a bunch of articles over there. Go check that out. We're also over at flowgrammer.ca where we do N8N automations. We run the Flowgrammer community and do Builders Hub and connectivity for AI and business automation agents. And for everything else, head over to TorontoStarts where we hook up startups and investors at our Startup Investor Drinks. We do mentoring, we do workshops, we have a list of investors. There's a whole bunch of content over. You can also book me over there if you want a meeting with me to talk about whatever, help your startup. Check out TorontoStarts.com. But Don, if people are looking for non-dilutive funding, where should they go and what is that?
Yeah, non-dilutive funding. We're talking government grants, tax credits. Come find me on LinkedIn if you have any questions. Right now is shred time, SRNED. But come reach out to me too if you've got a startup, if you've got a company. Reach out to me if you have any questions, and if they have company questions about their startup in general, where do they find you, Craig?
Yeah, find me at TorontoStarts.com. But John, just before we go, something's open right now, and it's closing May 31st. Thank you, Can Export. And what?
Yeah. So
what
if
should
you have
people
at
know
least
about that?
300,000 in revenue in the previous year, and you're looking to expand outside of Canada, reach out to me, and we can put together. We can talk about an application for Can Export.
All the links we talked about will be in the show notes wherever you're watching this. Thanks for watching, everybody. Leave us a comment, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to Silicon Scoop. We hope you enjoyed this episode's dive into the latest tech news. Stay connected with John Irwin and the Startup Coach on LinkedIn and subscribe for more insights and updates. Until next time, stay ahead, stay informed.